So I hope it is audible and visible. So if yes, just send a message in the chat box so that we can begin with the class. So do it fast. If the screen is visible and audible. Okay. So I'm expecting everyone to involve in the session. Okay. So everyone should interact if I ask you the question. Okay. So now we will start with the next module, that is module 3. Okay. Here the name of the module is bipolar junction transistor. So I hope you guys already know about transistors. Okay. So first thing, I will define what is transistor. So transistor is nothing but it is a semiconductor device which is used to magnify the weakened signals. So in other words, we can say that a transistor is a semiconductor device which is used to strengthen the weakened signals. And the main application of transistor is it is used in communication system. Okay, transferring the signal from one source to the other destination. So while transferring here, the source, that is a signal, will get weakened in the middle of the way. Then it is need to be strengthened again so that it can reach to the destination. There, the transistors are used to amplify that weakened signal so that the message should reach to the destination as it is, which is sent across the source side. So that's the main application of transistor. So which is used as a amplifier. In other words, transistor is also called as amplifier, which amplifies the weakened signal. So now, why it is called as bipolar junction transistor? So we call it as bipolar junction because of two reasons. The first reason is here the conduction or the current is constituted, or the conduction in the transistor takes place due to two major carriers. Two major carriers are used to conduct the current in the transistor. So that's why it is called as bipolar. Here, electrons as well as holes are used to the movement of conduction or to the movement of current. So that's why it is called as bipolar. Again, it is junction because here it uses two junctions. It uses two junctions between the electrons and holes. So that's why it has bipolar junction and transistor. So I hope it is clear about bipolar junction transistor. So I will just repeat. Transistor, which is nothing but it is an amplifier which is used to amplify the or magnify the weakened signal which is transmitting from source to the destination. It is called as bipolar because it uses two major charge carriers, that is electrons and holes, to constitute a current. So that's why it is called as bipolar junction. So bipolar junction is also nothing but it has two junctions which are used to the movement of holes and electrons. So that's why we call it as bipolar junction transistor. I hope it is clear for everyone. Okay. So now in that, the first topic is fundamentals of BJT operation. So here in this topic, we will discuss about the introduction part of the BJT. Okay. If I comes to the BJT has two types. One is NPN transistor, another one is PNP transistor. I hope you guys remember NPN and PNP transistor. So N stands for negative, P stands for positive. Okay. So we are going to discuss the fundamentals of those BJT and their operations. Okay. So now we'll move on to the notes so that we can begin with fundamentals of BJT operation. So now, so this is module 3, bipolar junction transistors. So in that, the first topic is fundamentals of BJT. So in that, we are going to discuss these four topics. First is introduction to BJT. Second is working principle of NPN transistor. Third is working principle of PNP transistor. And the fourth is current and voltages of BJT. Okay. So now, first we will focus on fundamentals of BJT. So now, as we say that BJT is nothing but bipolar junction transistor. So now, so in that, the first topic is introduction to BJT. So when it comes to the introduction part, we have two types of BJTs. One is NPN transistor and the second is PNP transistor. Okay. So now, so when I come to the NPN transistor, this transistor has three terminals. So we call them as emitter, base, and collector. Okay. So these are the three terminals which are used for an NPN and PNP transistor. So now, how NPN transistor is constructed? So how it is constructed now? Here, a P-type material, so listen to this properly. A P-type material is sandwiched between two N-type materials. What I am saying is, a P-type material is sandwiched between two N-type materials. So we call it as NPN transistor. So now, how it is constructed? Here, there are particular reasons or conditions which are used to construct a transistor, either it is NPN or PNP. So the conditions are, the first condition is, here, if I construct a NPN transistor, then the base region, which is nothing but P here, P-type material is used as base. This is base, which must be very thin. I'm using the word here, thin. Okay. The base of the NPN, that is P-type material, should be very thin and lightly doped. Lightly doped means here the charge carriers are very less. Whereas comparing to the base, that is P-type, the emitter terminal or the emitter region and the collector region are heavily doped compared to the base region. And another important condition is that here the emitter region must be heavily doped compared to the collector region, and the collector region must be slightly greater than emitter region. So these are the conditions which are used to construct a NPN or a PNP transistor. So I hope you guys got the explanation which I explained right now. Okay. So I will repeat this again. So you have to understand it. How we construct a BJT, that is NPN or PNP. The first thing, if I come to the NPN transistor. So NPN transistor has three terminals. We call them as emitter, base, and collector. Now, how it is constructed? It has some conditions. The conditions are, the first condition is that the P region, we call it as base. Here, the base region must be lightly doped and thin. Okay, that is narrow. Thin means very small, narrow, compared to the emitter and collector region, where emitter and collector regions are heavily doped. Now, comparing emitter with collector, emitter region is heavily doped than the collector, and the area or the region of collector is slightly larger than emitter. So these are the conditions which are used to construct a NPN or PNP transistor. Whereas these two are the symbols which are used here. This is NPN symbol and this is PNP symbol, where here the arrow mark which is shown here, this arrow mark in the NPN transistor indicates that the direction of conventional current flow. It indicates the direction of conventional current flow, okay, which is towards the emitter terminal. But in the PNP transistor, it is exactly opposite. So here the conventional current of PNP is exactly opposite to the NPN transistor. So I instruct you guys remember these two symbols properly, because we are going to use these symbols to represent NPN and PNP transistor. So I hope the explanation is clear for the introduction part of NPN and PNP. So if it is yes, if the introduction part is clear, just send a message in the chat box so that we can move on to the next topic. So do it fast. Replay in the chat box. If you want to repeat, Rohit Kamble has raised the hand. I'm expecting everyone. Everyone should enroll in the chat box. It indicates that you guys are interacting in the class. Okay, good. So now I hope for everyone, Priyanka Jadhav also raised the hand. Many of you guys are responded. Okay, fine. So now we'll move on to the next topic. The next topic is, okay, so the next topic is working principle of NPN transistor. So here, so this is the next topic, that is working principle of NPN transistor. Now, what I'm going to do here, I am considering the NPN transistor, okay, and then I am connecting two voltage devices here. What I'm doing, it's very simple. Just concentrate what I'm showing in the block diagram or in the circuit diagram. So here, so I will show one by one. So just understand it. Okay. Okay. So Tabasam, you can rejoin again. Okay. If there is a disturbance in the class for you, do it fast. Okay. Now, so we'll move on to the working principle of NPN transistor. So now look at the circuit diagram here. So what it consists of? First thing, so this is N region. Okay, I'm showing one by one. It's very simple. This is the N region which is connected to the emitter terminal. So this is emitter terminal. Okay, this is N region. As we know that emitter terminal is heavily doped. Heavily doped means more number of charge carriers. Now this is resistor RE. We call it as current limiting resistor. Now, so this is the second region. We call it as base. So this is the second region. We call it as base. Okay. Here for the base or for the base region, base terminal is connected. Okay. Now look at that base terminal and emitter terminal. So this is base terminal. The base and emitter terminal are connected to the voltage. So this voltage I call it as VEE. This is a DC voltage where the negative terminal of DC voltage is connected to the N, that is emitter, that is N-type material, and positive is connected to the base, which is P-type material. So from this connection, we can say that it is forward biased. Why I call it as forward biased? Because N region is connected to the negative and the P region is connected to the positive. In other words, emitter to negative, base to the positive. So we can say that now emitter to base junction. What I'm saying, emitter to base junction is forward biased. I hope it is clear. Emitter to base junction is forward biased. Now look at this, the another region now. So this part is collector part now. This part is collector part and this is RC, that is current limiting resistor for a collector region, which is N type. Now look at this DC voltage. So this is the DC voltage, that is plus terminal is of DC voltage is connected to the collector, that is N type, and negative terminal is connected to the P type. This is connected to the P type here. So this connection I call it as reverse biased. I hope it is getting everyone. Okay, because positive connected to the N type, negative connected to the P type. So such connections we call it as reverse biased condition. Now from this I can say that here the collector to base junction is reverse biased. Okay, so from this I can say that it has two junctions. One, emitter to base junction, which is forward biased with the applied DC voltage VEE, and there is another junction called collector to base junction, which is reverse biased by the supply voltage VCC. I hope it is clear for everyone. Okay, so now under such condition, what happens to the junction across or between P and N type across emitter to base, and again from P to N type across base to collector. Okay, so now as we discussed, we know that here emitter to base is forward biased. So that's why the depletion layer or the region between emitter to base, the depletion region between emitter to base is narrow. That's why only two immovable ions are shown here, one positively and the second negatively. This is because emitter to base junction is forward biased. Whereas when it comes to the collector and base, here collector to base junction is reverse biased. So that's why here the depletion layer is large. Okay, but from emitter to base it is narrow, and here collector to base junction is wider, that is large. It indicates that emitter to base is forward biased, collector to base is reverse biased. Okay, so that's why the width of the depletion layer here different. I hope it is clear for everyone. So now we'll come to the next thing now. So the next thing is, now as we know that emitter to base is forward biased. Therefore, here in emitter, the charge carriers are electrons because N type is there where it is heavily doped. So therefore, the charge carriers in the N type, majority charge carriers are electrons. Now electrons starts moving from emitter to base. This will be the direction of emitter to base for electrons. So this is the direction. So due to this direction here, due to the movement of electrons from emitter to base, it constitutes one current, and we call it as emitter current, denoted by capital I into E. I hope you know this one. So we call this as emitter current, which is constituted due to the movement of electrons from emitter to base. So now, when these electrons enter into the base region, they will recombine with the holes present in the P type. When they recombine with the holes present in the P type, again it constitutes one current. We will call it as base current, which is denoted as IB, which is shown here, which is denoted as IB. Now, only few number of electrons are recombined with the holes in the p-type because it is a thin layer which is lightly doped. Due to this, majority number of electrons of emitter will cross this depletion layer. What they will do? They will cross this depletion layer which is reverse biased, but still due to large number of electrons from emitter, they will cross, okay? So they will cross this base or the P region and enters into collector region. And now these large number of electrons in the collector constitute another current, and we call it as IC, that is collector current, denoted as IC. I hope it is clear for everyone. And here the direction of electrons from emitter to the collector. That's why the direction of the collector current is opposite, because as we know that the conventional current flow is opposite to the direction of electrons, because electrons moves from emitter to the collector. That's why the direction of collector current is opposite, because this current is constituted due to the movement of electrons, which are majority charge carriers. Thereby, the direction of emitter current also shown like this, because it is opposite to the movement of electrons. And this is the direction of base path, which is IB. So now this is the working principle of NPN transistor. I hope it is clear for everyone. It is very simple, and I hope now it is clear for everyone. If it is yes, just put a message in the chat box so that we'll move on to the next one. Do it first. Good. So I hope everyone understood the topic now. That's a good response. Good. I want everyone to involve in this, not only few. If you won't involve, it doesn't show your presence in the class. Okay, Priyanka Jadhav raised the hand. So many of you guys sending the message. Good. Okay. So I hope it is clear for everyone. So now, so this is about working principle of NPN transistor, which is very, very simple. The same thing will be happen. Okay. The last thing is the total current. The total current in this NPN transistor is given by IE equals to IB plus IC, where IB is very small. So we can say that IE is always nearly equals to IC if IB is neglected. IE is the emitter current, IB is the base current, and IC is the collector current. We call it as the sum of these two currents, that is IB plus IC is equals to IE. This is because it is shown here, the current constituted in this NPN, it is because of the movement of electrons, which is heavily doped in the emitter, that is in N-type, which are moved towards the P-type and N-type. That's why the major charge carriers are present in the emitter. They got moved towards the P and N. Thus, the combination of these two, that is the electrons in the P-type and the electrons in the N-type, the addition of these two is nothing but the collector emitter current. That's why it is given as IE equals to IB plus IC. Always, it always remains like this. Now, here the same thing will be done for the working principle of PNP transistor. Only the change is that here, same thing, instead of N-type, two P-type materials are sandwiched between the N-type material. That is the only difference. So remaining is same as NPN transistor. So I hope you guys do this on your own. Okay? Because same thing, only N is replaced by P here. And the voltage terminals are changed. Instead of negative to positive, here We got here negative to positive, but here is a little bit different. It is positive to negative, just opposite. Remaining stuff is exactly same, which is explained in the NPN transistor. I hope you guys do this on your own by taking the explanation of NPN transistor. Only the polarity will change, but the answer or the explanation remains same. Wherever I choose electrons, that should be replaced by holes. That's it. Remaining stuff or the explanation is same. Okay, now from this we can say that we will wind up with the class from today. Okay, because I only left with the 6 minutes. So now I will take attendance for everyone. Okay, so I hope everyone need to do one thing. Just I'll call your names. Unmute your speakers as much as possible. Okay. The first thing, Akash Shetty. Just unmute your mic. Abhishek K. Akarshita Sarvi.
Present, sir.
Ansha Meti.
Present, sir.
Disha Hiremat.
Yes, sir.
Nitya Narti.
Present, sir.
Prasanna. Prasanna.
Present, sir.
Durga.
Present, sir.
Yes, Durga.
Present, sir.
Sayyid Nihal. Sayyid Nihal.
Present, sir. Present, sir. Present, sir.
Vanishri Kulkarni. Vanishri.
Present, sir. Present, sir.
Vijay Lakshmi Bevur.
Present, sir.
Vijay Lakshmi Bevur.
Present, sir.
Yogita.
Present, sir.
Yogita.
Present, sir.
Vinay Kumar Wadekar.
Yes, sir.
Sushant Chatur.
Present,
Soumya Yam Somshi.
Present, sir.
Rohit Kamble.
Yes, sir.
Rohit Kamble.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll wind up the class. I will schedule the next session. Then I will inform you guys. Okay. Thank you for attending the class.